Hello everyone, and this is Sandy at Sandy's Left-Handed Crafts. I'm just taking some time to try and adjust my camera so that you get the best view. As you can see, I'm here with the Circles and Patterns National Scrapbooking Day Workshop. See if I can get it up there a little bit better so you can read it. It's all backwards in the camera to me, but I'm hoping you're seeing it forward. If not, hopefully when it replays, it'll flip it. But I have already went through the cutting guide and done all the cutting that I need to do. I just have not created the circles yet with the die cutting machine. So that's probably my next thing. And I wanted to go through this. Basically, you do all the cutting out and then you do your stamping with the patterns. So I'm going to show you what came with this kit. And I'm also going to pin up my first bit of notes here so that I can see them. All right. What came with the kit are all of the papers and this awesome stamp and thin cuts set. Now, in order to get the stamp and thin cuts, you have to have the kit. So that's one of the fun things about Close to My Heart. But because it's a workshop and it came with all of these dies, and these are circle dies that will cut out the papers. And then it also came with these 4 stamps that are just different patterns. So a very interesting stamp set. This could be a lot of fun on just about any shape that you cut out, even for Christmas. These kind of look like snowflakes to me. So this could be a very fun stamp set, even if you're not doing the circle pattern kit. So comes with all of these cool circle die cuts, which those will be useful even when you're doing card making or whatever to make different shapes. And I always love a good circle, so these are awesome. So that came with that. I'm going to set my stamp over here to the side. I'm going to keep my thin cuts because we're going to need these when I start cutting with the die cutting machine. Also comes with all of these papers. And one of the things that I do when I'm using a paper that it's just basically layering of the paper, I will cut the insides out. So I think they call it gutting it. So I will gut my paper so that I still have that inside to use for other things. And then I just use the white cardstock or whatever to build my layouts on. So I don't think we're going to need any. Well, I need to figure out what I have to cut. So I don't think I labeled the cutting pieces. So I believe that's what these are here on top, because I do not have any sticky labels on them. These are the ones that we are going to be cutting. See, if they actually are a piece, I've got a little sticky note on them. So I'm going to pick up all these ones that I do not have a sticky note on. The rest of these all have sticky notes. Those are pieces that are used in the layout. I'm going to move this to back behind me so that I don't have to watch, so I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to bring my die cutting machine over. Some of the other things it listed is I might need a sponge. So I got that out. I've got all my adhesives out that I like to use. I'm going to just put these up here. I am not making enough money yet to use Close to My Heart adhesive, so I use AdTech or the Dollar Tree adhesives. At some point, I might want to use Close to My Heart adhesives. I think they are very good. But the few things that I do have, I have like this red line adhesive tape, liquid glass from Close to My Heart. I have the Quickie glue pen from Close to My Heart. And you can buy the glue dots through Close to My Heart also. But I purchased these smaller amounts from the Dollar Tree. So I get a lot of my adhesive from the Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree does have foam tape that you can buy. And that is one of the things that they tell you need. So the foam tape, these are adhesives also that I find at Dollar Tree. But I typically like to use the Dollar Tree squares. These are out of the basically the tool area, the tool kits and that. This is where I find this, and it's got the super glue, and it usually has the hooks. And let me real quick, I'll grab the package that's opened. I've shared this before. These are called foam mounting tapes or squares. I look for that 25% more free because you get more in the package for your money. And if you look, it says they're pre-cut, they're double-sided, they're permanent, they're 100% acid and litigant free, and they are made by the original super glue people. So I'm thinking they're going to hold. Okay. That's typically what I use whenever I'm using a foam dot. I do sometimes stack them like too high and have those available also. So it just all depends on what you want to do. Now, obviously, if you have the money and can afford it, better adhesive is probably always the best way to go. But I find that I'm satisfied with what I've got here until I can afford better. So you can find all kinds of adhesives on my website at Close to My Heart. You'll find the liquid glass and the Quickie glue pen all at on my website in the core catalog. It also said I needed a journaling pen, so I have my Close to My Heart journaling pen out, and I have my stamp chamois out and damp, ready to work. It also said I would need a 4x4 block, but I have the 3x3, and I looked at the stamps, and this seems to be perfect for the size of stamps they got. So I don't know if it's a mistake in the directions or what, but the 3x3 will work, at least at this moment. We'll find out later why maybe they wanted the 4x4. I don't know. You also need Glacier, Lagoon, and they said avocado. And avocado is a little bit different shade than the green apple, but I think I can get away with the green apple because that's what I have. Sometimes you just don't have all of the inks that they request. So if you can get anywhere close to what they're asking, you'll see this is the avocado, and the avocado looks a little different in shade. It's got more of a green to it, or more of a brownish green, I would say. But you know what an avocado looks like, that green. But I have green apples, so we're just gonna pretend that works. Okay. I also have a bottle with some water in it to spray in case I want to water something down. And I have my scissors for cutting. So I think that pretty much covers everything on the list. This is my die cutting stamping machine. It is an old Cricut model. It's antique, but it works. And my my die cutting pieces and parts are, I'm going to have an A side, the A plate, and then I have two B plates, and then I have what they call the magnetic cutting for my C plate. My C plate is my magnetic cutting mat. So when you are cutting, and you can see they're very well used and well loved. And I've accidentally cut upside down a few times and cut into my magnetic plate. Now, if you do not have a cutting machine like this, there is one in the core catalog. It's a very nice machine. I'd love to upgrade to it at some point, but at this time, this is what I can afford. So, and let me reiterate with you that anything that I sell through Close to My Heart, I'll tell you, is the Cadillac of the crafting world. Okay. And it's usually the best paper, the best inks, the best stamps. I'm telling you, they can't do it any better. But the embellishments, everything, it's all awesome stuff. But obviously, if you're starting out and you're on a tight budget like me, if you've got to use the Dollar Tree or you've got to use the sales at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, but I will tell you, I think Close to My Heart is actually quite comparable to what you will find at Michael's or at Hobby Lobby. And you will find that our tools are there, and very good tools. So check out our die cutting machine. I know there are a lot of other newer die cutting machines out on the market right now. They're kind of flooding in. And those ones are actually electronic, where they're plug in and you don't have to crank them like mine. If you look, I have to crank mine. I'm going to try and go up just a little bit more so you can see what I'm doing. I want to get my light out of the way. Let's give you some light from the camera. And let's see what we got going on there. I am on my old dining room table. My office is my dining room, so not everyone can make their craft room their dining room, but that's me. So let's see here. The instructions that I am has all these circles laid out and tells you which dies to use to cut each circle. And if you look, it tells you whether or not it should be front or back. And they have these listed out as P1s and P2s. Project 1, Project 2. I think everything is going to be Project 1 or Project 2. So I'm probably just going to put a sticky note out that says Project 1 and Project 2, and then lay them all in their respective piles. So I'm going to get out a couple of pieces of paper. Now, if they have an asterisk beside them, that means it's flipped over to the other side. So some will be on the striped side of the paper, and then the other paper has this beautiful patterns on the other side, cameras and flowers and light bulbs. It's actually very pretty. So I'll show you. See, it has a pattern on the other side. On this side, it's a green stripe. And on this side, it is just a beautiful pattern paper. So we are going to, again, I'm going to put this up where I can see it. It's not going to be in your way, hopefully, while I'm cutting. but I just hang it up where I can see it. And then I'm going to bring this down a little bit here. And I guess we get to start cutting. So we get our little circles, and you'll see. And the first one is a 4.5 by 6.5 piece, and it has a full circle, a circle with the 4 cuts or quarters, and it has 2 of the halves. And so these 2 are not being used yet, but let's see here. I cannot waste paper. I am very particular about how my paper gets used. And so I'm going to line this up right over here. And I'm going to find my 4.5 by 6 inch piece. I believe that's what this is, because that's 6 inches wide by 4.5. And it's all of them are going to be the stripe except for 1/4. And it looks like all of these circles are for project 1. So I'm going to use a little piece of tape. That's what my tape is here. It's been destickified, so it's been used a few times. And I'm just going to put it in place. Then I'm going to put my other plate on top of that. And that's my sandwich. And then I place it into my machine and I cut. Those lovely creaky noises are totally normal. And because of static electricity, things are one. But let's see here. We have all these lovely little half circles. There's 4 half circles, all for project 1. We have 1 full circle for project 1. We have 1 that's flipped over, and then the rest are the stripes. So these are all for project 1. So I'm going to stack them on my project 1 sheet over here. Let's write project 1 on there. P1, P2. Okay. And then the next one, you can see I did not use all of that paper, but this is now considered scrap, which is not scrap in my book. Scrap is unusable, and that is still very usable. There's definitely a lot of paper left here. So put this into my scrap pile on the side here. And then the next one is all with half circles, but we don't have 3 halves. So we're going to do 1 with a circle, and then we're going to have to run it through again with the other half. And it is again with the avocado striped. Keep them close together. Use a little tape to hold it in place. Put my B plate on the top. And then slowly run that through. 1, 2, 3. Da, 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 da. Now, this one We have the whole circle, which is actually, ooh, and it's got the camera on it. That worked out perfect. The camera. And then these two are up. And then these two are for project 2. And I need to run through this other corner with the halves again. And these halves, just run it through. And now you have these two, and they do want them up. So look at that. We got some pretty flowers. And those are for project 2. That's all for that piece of paper. So we place that to the side, and then it looks like we have one more piece with all of the stripes. We need another half. We need another 4 piece. A 4 piece, and then 2 holes. Well, we're going to have to just do 1 hole at a time. But they have it on the 4 sheet, and we use our little piece of tape to hold that in place. Put our plate back on. You notice I flip my plates a lot, and that's to help keep them flat. Because this old machine applies a lot of pressure. So, whoops, I picked it up again. These says one of these one of the 4 cubes. Here's the other one. One of them has to go up, and so I'm going to look for the one with the most. This one's got a fairly interesting pattern. It is project 1, and this is project 2, and then these are project 2 the other way. We have 1 whole one here. These 2 halves. One is project 1 up, and one is project 1 down. And then this one is project 2 up. And we need 1 more hole. Taking these off and setting them aside here. You want to make sure that you get your die completely under your paper. And then, again, send through. So I guess we would call this a process video, because you can see the process of how I'm making this and putting it together. And so now that is all of the designer paper that needed to be cut. So I set that aside. The next one is the bright yellow, which is called the lemonade cardstock. Lemonade. The first one is this one yellow. And they have the light side up. You'll notice our cardstock, there's two shades to it. I don't know if you can see it there. There, you can see it. One side is just a little bit more yellow and the other one's lighter yellow. And the color is horrible. I do not know what to do about color on my camera. This camera does not pick up color well. So left side up, and we have a whole circle and the 4 quadrant circle. And use tape. I make sure that my dies are covered. Then I put my plates on and I run them through. Static electricity makes everything come up. So project 1 is the solid yellow. And then project 1 also has one of the corners. And the other 3 all go to project 2. And you can see I did not use a lot of that paper. I can still get some stuff out of that. All right. Our next one is the large piece of yellow. And it has 2 solid and 2 halves. Do I have another solid? I do have another solid. There's the other solid. So I have 2 solids and 2 halves. Notice I'm putting them very close together. But not overlapping one another. And then this 4/4 down here in the bottom. Because it's magnetic, they all stay where they're supposed to. And I just put a little tape to help hold that in place. And I'll run this one through. And if I slide this off, it won't pick up these things as much. So then we have, out of this one, we have project 1, project 2, project 1, both halves, and then project 2, we only need 1 half. And then all 4 of these go into project 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, project 1. And this one is considered scrap because it's an extra. So I'm just going to set that over here to the side. And we've cut everything out of this piece. The next one we can is this other die. I'm going to bring this over so I can show you. They all come on a magnetic sheet so that they're held in place so you don't lose them or bend them. And the next two pieces is out of this. And because they are both the same, I'm going to stack them. And we stick that in place. Use our die. And now we're going to make these fancy ones with the star. I didn't hear much creaking, so I'm just going to run that back through one more time. There we go. And look at that. We did it. We did 4 of them. We did the 2 at one time. Now let's see. The 2 diamonds go to project 2. And the 1, 2, 3, 4. But remember, these are stacked, so there's 2 in each. 1, 2, 3. And these other ones are all extra. And there's 5 of them. 1, 2, 3. And don't these look like daisy petals? Those would make cute little daisy petals. I hope I've been staying in frame. Sorry if I haven't. Take off this washi tape very carefully. Stick it on my machine. So we have basically another piece here that we could easily cut something out of. So that's the yellow. That is everything on this page. So our next page is the white daisy. Where did I miss the blue? There's the blue. Okay, we have light blue and we have some more blue, and it looks like some more avocado. So let's get those done. Since this one is out. Avocado. 3 more avocados here. This is the avocado. And the light blue. So they have us stack when we can. And we're stacking the star and the 4 quarters. I'll line them up nice and straight here. And then you place your paper on top of them. Add a little tape to keep it in place. Put that on. And now we're doing, this is the Glacier cardstock. I'm going to run it back through. Ta-da! If I slide this, it won't come off with it. So, oops, I got my tape on there. So let's see. The diamonds. These diamonds go in project 2. And doesn't look like any of the petals are used. So I'm going to put these over here in case they come up. Then we've got 8 pieces of pie. And they all go on project 1 or project 2. And the rest of them all go to project 1. So there's 6 here. These are going to go in project 1's pile. Then we've got one more skinny piece, but we need a whole. We need a whole and a quarter. And it's not stacked this time. Is anyone thinking of all the things they could use these circles for? That's what you don't want your tape to do. If you pull your tape off just right, it won't tear the cardstock. But see, because of our card, it did. So, my sticky tape. So I put that to the side. Now we need the 4 quarters. And we line those up. Use my tape again to hold it in place. And I grab my other plate. Oh, stack with like-size lagoon. I see on the other one it wants me to do a lagoon one also at the same time. To get the 4 quarters. So the avocado, these all go to project 2. This is the excess. So we need 1 avocado for project 2. And we need avocado over here. The other 3 avocados we don't need. And we need the 4 glacier and go to project 2. And the whole circle goes to project 1. Then we have Then we have 2 avocados, 2 pieces. So I'm stacking them. And we need, instead of the whole circle, we need a half circle. So half circle and the quarters, 4 quarters. And lay that down. Keep it in place. So then we have project 1, project 1. Get my tape off of there. Project 1. 3 project 1s and 1 project 2. And then we have all 8 of these, all 7 of them are project 1, but one of them is for project 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just dropped one. Okay. So these all go to project 1. All right, and we have one more light blue or glacier that I did not do yet. And that is this one. And it was the 2 halves. The 2 half circles. You don't have to be as fussy as me. I'm fussy. Because I'm always trying to save a dime here or a little there. So my dad always said a penny saved is a penny earned. So if I save my pennies by being careful how I cut, then I won't need to spend my pennies on more paper because I still have everything I need. So this is the project 1, and project 2. One goes to project 2. Now all we need is the Lagoon cardstock. The Lagoon cardstock and the White Daisy. We have 3 different pieces of Lagoon. And look at there, we've got our project 1 up. So I'm going to put this through. My watch is telling me I need to get more active. It doesn't know that I'm working hard here. Or hardly working, one of the two. So those are our 4 halves. And 1, 2, 3 of them go to project 1. And 1 goes to project 2. And then we need, that's that one. Then we need 4 quarters and a half. You know what? And we can stack it. Oh, we might have already did that one. All right. Nope. I saw it start to move. If you put the tape on there, it holds that paper in place. So even if it's too stacked up, they shouldn't move. Oops, we're missing a plate. There we go. Ooh, we're very close on this one. These halves, only 2 of them. 1 of them is needed for project 2. The rest are all extras. There's no extras in my book. These all go to part 1, except for 2 of them go to project 2. And the rest of this goes in our scrap pile. I know this is taking a long time, and I'm sorry. If I could speed it up, I would. But now we have our white. Let's look here. The white cardstock. This is all we have left to do. Okay. The half and the quarter. Half and the quarter. So let's get these lined up so they're with each other. And it looks like I can back these two. Use just a little bit of tape. And this. So we have project 1 and project 2. We need 2 for project 2 and 2 for project 1. So there we go. 2 and 2. And then we need 7 of these for project 1 and 1 of them for project 2. And then we run it through one more time, same dies. My phone keeps buzzing. See, it's live and I'm working on it. Okay. We have one more. Let's line them up this way. We have one more. Let's line them up. I am definitely live on Facebook. So now we have cut all of our circles. Slide that off. And let's see. We just need one of these for project 2. And these both go in project 1. And everything else is scrap. So we'll place that over here. We'll stack these up. You know, they might not be scrap. If we mess up stamping or something and we need them, it's always good to have them close by. So my tape is pretty well used. We'll stick it there. We'll put my dies all back on their sheet. I don't know how they were on here. Somehow they were on here that they all fit. It's like a puzzle now. There we go. They're all on there. and not on one another. Ta-da! So I'm going to set these aside. Now, I believe I can put this away. Okay. Set that aside. Now what we do, we look at our instructions. So now we should have the fun part. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we get to stamp them. So I'll put these up here. And we've got project 1 and project 2. Project 1 and project 1 and project 2. Project 2. So this one here, I'm going to put project 2 and all of its little circles over here, out of my way. Project 1 has got a lot of circles and they need to be stamped. So I'm going to use, this is called the Close to My Heart Versamat. It's Z1279 on the website. And when you flip it over, it's got a nice spongy side, which is perfect for stamping on. Putting your things on to stamp. So if you look here, we've got a lagoon, and 4 lagoon square cubes or quarters. And we have a half. And it wants me to use the polka dots. Stamp patterns on P1 cardstock circle parts with avocado, glacier, and lagoon inks as shown. So they don't really give you any serious directions. They just give you photos. And this is the dots. So I've got my inks here. Here's my lagoon. I've got my stamp, and I find the easiest way to put it on a block is to set it down like that and then pick it up. You don't get air underneath that big block. See, there's no air bubbles. And the other thing is you want to season your stamp just a little, which means basically rub off the sticky oil on it. And your arm works perfect for that. Or a stamping, will work too. All right. So we take our lagoon, stamp, 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 stamp. Basically, to pick up good ink, you want to push and twist. And you can see it through the stamp, so you see if you've got ink on it real well, which I do. And because I don't have anything under this,